Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm making lemon, lime, and ginger drizzle cakes. So I've got some lemons and some limes, and I'm ready to get started. First thing I gotta do is get my oven ready to go. So I need to turn it on to 180 degrees Celsius, which is 355 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'll get that going. So we are going to put in our sugar and our butter. So I've got 175 grams of caster sugar along with 175 grams of butter, softened already up and ready to go. And we're just going to beat this for about 3 to 5 minutes until it's pale and creamy. Okay, it looks like we're at the pale and creamy stage. So now we just need to add our eggs, and we have 3 eggs in this recipe. Again, room temperature eggs. And I'm just going to add them one at a time and make sure to incorporate in between. Alright, so that is all combined. I've got my 3 eggs in there. So now I have already sifted together my flour, so it's just plain flour at 150 grams. I've got 25 grams of corn flour in here as well. My baking powder, which was 2 teaspoons, and a teaspoon of ground ginger, because we've got some ginger in this recipe to give it a nice flavor, I think. And then I didn't put the salt in yet because I wanted to share. Some of you might have seen this on my little short video I did, but I got these cute little spoons for my birthday, and one of them is actually a pinch. So I'm going to put my pinch of salt into my flour. I think it's fun. So I don't have to worry about what a pinch is anymore, and I can measure it out. What I'm going to do is with my flour and my baking powder and everything, I'm going to add in the ground almonds. Okay, I'm just going to move my mixer out of the way for just a minute. So I've got my flour and everything, and I've got my ground almonds. I want those to add into the bowl, I guess. And then I need my lemon zest. So I also, if you saw my little short, got a zester for Christmas. Thanks, Mom. So I need zest from 2 lemons and from 2 limes. So I'm gonna zest those up real quick into my little bowl here. I'm super excited about the little things. So getting little spoons and a zester was pretty fun. And this is working way better than my grater did when I was trying to do it. I think it was the duva that I had to zest, and that went kind of poorly. The zesting part, not the duva. That was delicious. If you haven't seen that video, go find it after you finish watching this one. It smells really awesome in here right now. That lemon is very good. Okay, now on to my limes. Alright, now there was a great variety of sizes of limes at my grocery store, and I just elected for the larger ones. I remember watching an episode of Paul Hollywood do something, and he said that the key limes were the small ones. This just says limes, so I picked the bigger ones. So, I've got a nice colorful bowl now of lemon and lime zest. I also need to add the lemon juice and the lime juice. Now, I just need the juice from half of one of my lemons right now. I'll use the rest of it later. So, let me cut one of those. Okay. And I'm just going to make sure I don't get the seeds in, so I'm going to juice it into this other bowl here. just so I can take those out a little easier. I don't have a juicer. Last time I said that, I ended up getting a zester, which, whatever. I don't need a juicer. I think squeezing it works just fine, unless someone wants to tell me otherwise. Okay, I did get a couple seeds in there, so I'm just gonna take those out real fast because I don't want that in my cakes. That wouldn't be very good. Okay, and then I need the juice from one of my limes. Now, it's not like I'm not going to use the other lemon and the other lime. I'll find those later. There's a drizzle that goes on top. So that is where I will use those other ones. The limes are a little harder to squeeze. I don't know if I just didn't pick good ones. It's entirely possible. I don't really know how to pick good limes or good lemons. I just went for the brightly colored ones that weren't like rock hard. All right, lemon juice, lime juice. Now, I also have chopped ginger in here. If you watched which one? The Pinafore episode, chocolate Pinafore. I had to use ginger, like it said stem ginger, and I couldn't find it, so I had pickled ginger. That was the closest I could get. So here I am again with my pickled ginger, because that's all we have. Now this wanted 2 balls of stem ginger. Doesn't come that way here in the States, or at least I couldn't find it that way. So I finally chopped up some pickled ginger to the best estimation that I could of what a ball of ginger, how big that would be. So that is what I have. And then I need some milk. I have 2 tablespoons of whole milk to add in there. We'll come back to the mixer and we'll add all of this in. That is quite a concoction, if I do say so myself. The smells are really good. The lemons and the limes. I honestly have to say that the pickled ginger smells gross. I found it, if you remember from the Pinafore episode, in like the Chinese section. Apparently it's used in sushi, which now I'm thinking that that's not Chinese. But that's where it was. Anyway. So I'm going to beat this on medium speed for about a minute until well combined. Okay, it's looking well combined. Now I am going to put this in mini loaf today. The recipe itself calls for like the little loaf cases, the individual ones, which you can readily find even at like a dollar store. I have a mini loaf pan, so I've just elected to use that because I need 8 of them and my pan has 8 slots. So, you know, if you want to use the loaf cases, awesome. I can't imagine that it would be all that different other than maybe ease of removal. But I've buttered up my pan really good so that hopefully that's not an issue. So now I'm just going to try to divide these up evenly into the 8 cases, which will be the fun part. The mixture here is quite thick, so it's not like pouring a batter. It's, I don't really know how to describe it, but I'm getting there as far as evenly. It is interesting though, because I can see like the little chunks of ginger. So I don't know, like if that's going to be a big issue when we go to like bite into it and it's just going to be like, whoa, there's a mouthful of ginger. I hope not, but we'll see. Okay, so I've got that all done, and then I'm also going to sprinkle with some flaked almonds, slivered, cut almonds on top. sure it'll give it a little crunch. That'll be kind of nice. It's 25 grams of this, by the way. So. Okay. So now that I've got my almonds on there, I am going to bake my lemon, lime, and ginger drizzle cakes for 25 minutes at 355 degrees Fahrenheit until golden brown and well risen. So we'll give that a try. All right, they are done. Those look pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna let those cool for just a few minutes while I make my drizzle to pour on top of them. So I've already juiced my lemon and lime again, just so you didn't have to watch me juice them again. So I had my 1.5 lemon and my 2 limes that I needed. Sorry, 1.5 lemons, 1 lime, and then a tablespoon of that syrup that the stem ginger is in. Okay. And then 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar, which is just curious because everything else for the last, I don't know how many recipes, has been caster sugar. So the fact that we're going back to granulated sugar, I don't know, I'd love to know the reasoning. Because I guess they're assuming that the lemon and lime juice is going to break this juice down, or the sugar down, so that it's dissolved. I don't know. I don't really feel the sugar in my stirring anymore, but I can still see it a little bit. So I'm just going to keep stirring a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is pour this over this. I'm going to give them just a minute to cool more. Got my juice made. What I'm going to do is just put my cakes on a wire rack just so they're lifted off the ground a little bit, so they have a little bit better chance to cool. So now I need to use a cocktail stick to poke 8 holes into each cake so that the syrup can be poured over a toothpick. Apparently the British call these cocktail sticks. That's what Google told me. I don't know. I don't have an actual cocktail stick, but a toothpick seems to be the right size. So 1. I hope 8 isn't like a specific number for some reason. Okay, and so now that I've got all those holes poked, I just need to pour this over the pour the sugary syrup over each. I guess try to do it as evenly as possible. All right, that seems like a lot of syrup for 8 of those little mini loaves, but we shall see. Now I do have to let these cool completely before I dig in, but I will probably pry them out of the pan here in just a minute before I let them cool completely. But I will see you on the tasting end. We are ready to taste the lemon, lime, and ginger drizzle cake. They came out of the pan perfect, so the buttering worked. And they look really good. They're not quite as brown as I was thinking on the top. They're obviously fine looking on the sides. But yeah, let's give it a taste. There was a lot of syrup, and so they're very moist. We'll see. That is super citrusy, like in a good way, like very lemon, very lime. It really just kind of dissolves in your mouth, which is really nice. Yeah, this is really good. I think maybe you could have cut back a little bit on the syrup. I mean, I felt like it when I was pouring it on, that there was a lot for those. And the bottom is definitely really soggy. So I would probably only put half the syrup on next time. There's plenty of flavor to this. Like, you definitely get that it's lemon and lime. So I don't think cutting back a little bit on the syrup would hurt. But it's very good. So that was our Great British Baking Show Love to Bake recipe. It took a little bit longer than what it said in the book. It said about 20-minute hands-on. It was more like 25, especially if you count in my zesting. If you zest beforehand, it would be more like 20 minutes. But yeah, it was really good. Pretty easy, you know, and it's different, very different, which is good. But anyway, like this video, subscribe, yeah, and then watch some of my other videos. And if you want to share this one, awesome. Share it with your friends, Facebook, whatever. Do that, and then we can, you know, get some more people into our little baking crew. But anyway, I will see you next bake.